Well, remember that confrontation we got from House of X issue 1 between the Fantastic Four and Cyclops of a Krakoa's X-Men? Well, we finally are reaching to that point. We are now in the first official crossover event of the X-Men's ever since Krakoa happened with the Marvel Universe. And this time it's X-Men and Fantastic Four. The subject? It's about Franklin Richards, the son of Reed Richards and Susan Storm. And remember that line where Cyclops tells the family? He tells them this: greet your son for me, and tell them there's family waiting for him on Krakoa. And I was like, wait, I know Susan and Reed have a son, but their son's a mutant. I could somewhat believe that maybe you would have the powers of either or a mixture or Reed and Susan, but a mutant, like, wouldn't that be a little bit more complicated to talk about, since, well, they got theirs from technobabble science cosmic rays. But yeah, that's a different matter whatsoever. The thing that people were wondering was, where is this going to go? Because I don't really read that much of the Marvel comics. My comic history with Marvel has either been from articles or reading Jonathan Hickman stuff. So really, it's just the one cohesive writer that I have predominantly read. Um, and anything that relates to him. So I have been reading the Marauders, I have been reading the Fallen Angels, I have been reading all the Dawn of X titles that tie into this big cohesive narrative. Um, so yeah, and I am trying to come up with a plan to talk about them, because I really want to talk about these series as it goes on, especially since Dawn of X Initiative is really getting bigger by the month. So I'll figure something out on that, and I still need to find a way to finish Powers of X and House of X as well. So we'll have to see. So yeah, Franklin Richards, the son of Reed Richards and Susan Storm. Well, when I was looking at when I was watching Comics Explains retrospective, because they don't have omnibuses for the Fantastic Four since they're out of print, I believe. I tried looking for them. I think they only had Volume 2, which again leads to so many questions of why would there be a Volume 2 still in production yet a Volume 1 is out of print? No reason? Okay. So, Franklin Richards has basically the ability to create universes. Basically, has universal power. He's an Omega level classified mutant, so he is a mutant, and with the intellect of his parents, that really gives a deadly combination, and also many, many, many problems. So, yeah, Franklin Richards and the Fantastic Four family, and along with the Future Foundation students, at the end of Secret Wars 2015, they had disappeared, set out to rebuild the multiverse, and they were pretty much gone for a number of years. That was the status quo. There were no Fantastic Four for a number of years. The only Fantastic Four related person was probably a new Future Foundation, but without the Fantastic Four involved, and the Ultimate Universe Reed Richards that somehow survived. So you have that, and now you get this big moment where they come back a few years later, and under a different writer this time, since at the time Jonathan Hickman was gone and was back at Image Comics working his own stuff. But now, and Franklin Richards has gone through accelerated aging, so he's nearing teenage years and with black hair, because of course. And I'm thinking, like, okay, at least to a somewhat minor extent, I get this more than Brian Michael Bendis acceleratingly aging up Superboy, because, I don't know, Dan DiDio hates him. Whereas I get the feeling like they just were trying to think of something unique to do with the family other than the neglected father stupid angle that they've done multiple times. And that Jonathan Hickman kind of eventually gave up on that angle because he wanted this to be about family. Yeah, so now Krakoa. Now, when this was announced, I was looking forward to this. Though I was surprised Jonathan Hickman wasn't going to be the one that wrote this. I was honestly expecting him to write this story, and that didn't didn't happen. In fact, he's gonna write the next big event, and also working on X-Men, on Giant X-Men special with Emma Frost and Jean Grey, which will be interesting because they kind of don't like each other sometimes and have traded shots at each other. So now we've reached this issue where now Franklin Richards has to choose. Will he join with his fellow brethren, the mutants of the island nation of Krakoa, or will he remain the son of the Fantastic Four, and basically the successor to Reed Richards and everything he's done, and be part of the family? That's where the dilemma comes in, and with his accelerated aging, that leads to more problems. So yeah, let's get right into this issue. Yeah, sorry, I'm trying to look to see if there's any problems with my recording software in case anything went up, so let's get right into it. They show the listing of the cast members who are in this first issue, and then we get the narration of Franklin Richards. I'm the Impossible Boy, the son of superheroes and not just any superheroes, the great Reed Richards and the powerful Susan Storm. Everyone watched me, even as a kid. Everyone wondered what will he become. It's stupid, that pressure on a kid. My parents gained powers, I revealed them, so what did I reveal? Well, I become the boy who could dream the future. But it wasn't just dreams. Eventually, I could make the impossible possible. I could create universes. A kid who could create universes, and I did. Now my powers drain every time I use them. I'm headed towards being someone you'll see in the street and wonder, was that Franklin Richards, the guy who was once in the Fantastic Four? I used to have dreams of the future. I don't anymore, because that isn't one for me. Yeah, when I was reading this narration, I was wondering, oh man, like when we get to the part where he's showing as a kid with Johnny Storm and Ben Grimm, I was wondering, where's Spider-Man? What, like, remember the bond that Spider-Man and Franklin Richards had? Why couldn't we bring that in? And at least one time. In fact, I was kind of just curious to know if Spider-Man was going to be involved in this, because Franklin Richards was a part of his life for a long period of time, and was part of the Fantastic Four when Johnny Storm temporarily died, and then came back under the same writer. And then it was revealed he never died, he was trapped. And that makes everyone kind of look like a moronic dumbass when they couldn't figure out, hey, don't we have life signs to detect this? Anyways. Yeah, so we see that the boy stops a minor alien invasion and does the awesomeness of everything. And issue number 1 opens up with The World Has Changed. The Impossible Boy. And then we go to the Pacific Ocean, where we see the Marauders, led by Kate, aka the Red Queen, bitch, because that's what she introduced herself as to Sebastian Shaw, and we all know how hilarious that line was. So, Storm opens up with saying, Kate? Storm? We're here, and not a moment too soon. Bobby and Pyro are truly getting on my nerves. Well, they could carry the heaviest cargo then. Well, effing well, avast me, mate, you tease. 70 poor brethren today, or just gathering more beer for Logan? Quentin, we're going to go hit the shops in London. Island life is nice and all, but I miss the old thrill of shoplifting. Care to join? Alright, Kitty Pryde, the woman who can walk through walls, can't walk through mutant-only gates. Ow! No, he's basically struck by something, and Emma Frost's little clone sisters call him out. Quentin, don't be rude. Yes, don't be Quentin. And he leaves saying, whatever, creeps. Yeah, they did a psychic attack, so that was hilarious, so that's fun. Thanks, but I don't need your psychic attack. We don't care what you need. We're here to let you know the professor needs to see you. And Kate is obviously complaining, saying, God, not a moment's rest. Storm just says, I'm going to tend to the garden. If it's another Marauders mission, send word. Will do. Though if Charles sent the Cuckoos to greet me instead of just reaching out psychically, That means if he's busy, that means something's wrong. Professor, you want to? Ah, Catherine, excellent. We have a situation. And they're showing the holographic projections or mental projections of Franklin Richards and the numerous images of the Fantastic Four. If this was not a mutant they show Krakoa and having government spies everywhere, I would assume that this was stalking photos. Not really. Kate just goes in and says, "What? Is that Franklin Richards?" Yes, the Fantastic Four recently thwarted a minor alien invasion, or should I say, the boy did. Magneto says, "As you know, the son of Reed Richards and Susan Storm is a mutant, and not just a mutant, but an omega level mutant. For the longest time, we've been content to let the boy be, to stay with his family. The Fantastic Four are obviously not suburban parents, terrified at what their previously human son is becoming. But now, his family took him on a multiversal adventure, and time worked differently on that adventure. So he's back as a young man, a man who can question his place in the world, a man who needs his people. You're going to recruit Franklin Richards to Krakoa. His powers are depleting. Something is wrong. We need to help him before they're gone, and also determine if this is something that could happen to other mutants." Which I kind of get, because this is a serious situation. If Franklin Richards' powers can just deplete like that, then what's stopping, say, the people who can resurrect the dead on every occasion with just 5 people and 2 of them being Omega level mutants? If that could happen to them, then the resurrection process is kind of destroyed. So, yeah. And Xavier's just making this look like and sounding like with his appearance that it's just 1, 2, 3, get out. But Kitty Pryde points out the obvious flaw in his logic. You're going to convince one of the world's smartest men and one of the most powerful women and that the teenage son is better off away from them. And Xavier just smiles. Okay, this is the part where the artwork is mixed to me. There's a lot of good expressions on it, but the artwork is also a little cartoonish for my tastes. Way too cartoonish. It just kind of makes it a little bit weird. They're trying to go for more expressive feelings, but at the same time they're trying to give this vibe, but there's also this loony nature to it to a minor extent. There's sometimes it's good, but sometimes it's if you've read it, you'll probably get what I'm trying to say. So Xavier explains that this is where Catherine comes in and talks about how there's a special history between Franklin Richards and Katie Pryde, and yeah, this is the part where here's the thing. So it didn't surprise me that maybe Katie and Kate Pryde and Franklin Richards may have met maybe once or twice at best, because it's Marvel. They probably have done it before. But then I found out that this was more like they have a bond, and when did they interact? People would probably wonder, when did they interact? That never happened, did it? It's possible because this is the Marvel Universe, but really? To the point that they're friends? That they're close friends? Well, it turns out that they were actually close friends. And Fantastic Four vs. X-Men 1 through 4, 1987. Yeah, so yeah, at the time I don't know, I never read the story, so I don't know what the hell was going on at the time. But what they do say is that when she almost died and Franklin would visit her in Latveria while Victor Von Doom worked on a cure, because Victor Von Doom does that. And Katie Pryde was smiling fondly at the remembering of that moment, but she didn't even know if he would remember. And Charles Xavier somehow say he does somehow know this, and your presence when we meet with his family can make all the difference. A delegation is going to New York. You'll need to get a head start by sea to meet us there in time. Because people were wondering, now people still wonder why Kate Pryde cannot go through the Krakoan gates. because they think Krakoa is mad at her. But there is a theory by Bleeding Cool that it was the specifics of her mutant powers that led to her not being accepted by Krakoa. So, okay, I don't know the full context of that, but like there is an article about it on bleedingcool.com. You can check it out if it's still up. But it does go into detail why Kate Pryde is both a mutant yet not a mutant, and therefore she can go through the portal. But Katie Pryde seems a little hesitant about this idea of using her past friendship with Franklin Richards to basically manipulate him. So she says, sure, of course. And Kitty, thank you for this. That is weird coming from the old man. Anyways, Kitty Pryde goes ahead and finds is found by Wolverine saying, that what I think it is. Wow, I'm as popular around here. Here you go, Logan. What the doctor ordered. Damn right, Canadian healthcare. So you doing it? What, recruiting Franklin Richards? I don't know. He's just a kid. Ain't a kid. How old were you when you were born into the mansion? When you were barged into the mansion, making my life miserable? Yeah, I don't know why I'm going with a cowboy accent. Probably because I can't try and get Wolverine's voice right. Some 13-year-old wakes up and thought they can walk through walls or shoot lasers through their eyes. You know as well as I do. You grow up fast once you realize you're a mutant. Then we cut to the Fantastic Four, with Reed Richards doing the obvious Reed Richards thing. Experimenting on his son. I think this is like the second time he's done it, though. I think the first time was during the whole during the crisis they had during the Hickman era. So naturally, Hickman will usually use the he's going to experiment on his son angle in order to solve something. But in this case, he's actually trying to save his powers. And once again, Reed Richards, for all his power or his intellect, cannot figure out the damn situation. And because Franklin Richards is at that age, he is naturally brooding. So, yeah, he just leaves the room after a small little jab at him. Yeah. Yeah. Also, Reed Richards tries to not admit the problem here, but he says, I suppose it could be also rapid fluctuation in hormones, considering his age. And Reed, I know, yes. It's his powers, because he doesn't understand that I'm not perfect. But I thought I was perfect when I thought I could dictate how all you could live during the Civil War event, and how I thought it was the perfect idea to send Hulk into space. Wow, that came back to bite me in the ass, didn't it, for a while? We're a good family. He has a good life with us. I understand his disappointment, but there's nothing wrong with being human. Oh, Reed. You would be insignificant in the vast scheme of things unless you wanted to be like Tony Stark and make a suit, but you have cosmic rays. Shut up. So, yeah. So his wife has to assure him, oh, honey, it's not just about being human, even without your stretchy bits. Oh, man, that I'm pretty sure perverts are thinking that now. Anyways, you're still incredibly smart. Look, you know that when I was a teenager, I used to play soccer, and I was good, really good. There were talks about me getting a scholarship, going to the Nationals. But then I broke my ankle. It was devastating. One day you think you're something special, that you're known for that thing, and then it's just gone, and it's hard to recognize everything else you have to give in that moment. He's young, trying to find his place in the world, and that's tricky enough without being in the Fantastic Four. So, yeah. We get some more tech stuff, and yeah, talking about Franklin's diminishing powers. And now we cut to Ben Grimm and Franklin Richards at a small little diner, casually talking. And yeah, then Franklin calls Ben Grimm Uncle Ben. Yeah, definitely not a small Spider-Man reference there. Yeah, definitely not a small Spider-Man reference. So when's the part where Ben Grimm's gonna get shot and then we gotta completely forget about it and never talk about it in the MCU? Or even make any reference? Yeah, I'll get to that one day. So, here's the thing. We get more of I'm dark and brooding Franklin Richards going ahead now offering the idea that for some reason that the smartest man in the world alive can solve the universe's problems daily, but why can't he just simply fix the one problems that the two problems he can't solve are himself and Ben Grimm. And that leads to a dark turn because that always did bug people sometimes, I bet, because, like, wait, what? Like, at least Ultimate Reed Richards, for all his intellect, knew that he had to at least try and get information. I'm like, it led to a horrible, crappy event comic where Tracer art extraordinaire, but that's a completely different subject. And also, how do I explain this? Millions of people dying in an alternative universe. Yeah. So, Franklin Richards used to propose this idea that Reed Richards unconsciously, as somewhat unaware of his own intellect, that he might be subconsciously not allowing himself to save Franklin and Ben's current plight. But Ben just cuts him off saying, Reed's a good man. He cares about you, about us. If he didn't want to fix either of us, he'd tell us, because if he didn't, he knows we'd never forgive him. There you are! Johnny Storms bursts in, yelling out, we got ourselves some visitors, and honestly, not the good kind. Wolverine is tapping on the invisible barrier, calmly explaining the obvious situation that is obvious. You know, if I was the suspicious type, I suspect we weren't welcome here. If you ask, I'll ask you one more time, Wolverine, why are you here? You know why we're here, Susan. We're here about the future. The future! We're here about birthright. You're here for our son. Don't talk about birthright to the woman who gave birth to him. What's going on? Nothing, son. Go into the house, sweetie. Hey, Franklin. It's been a while. Kitty! Sorry to drop unannounced. Yeah, and for some reason, Susan Storm and Franklin Richards are surprised by this interaction because everyone's a dumbass. In this one particular moment. Yeah, Franklin, and yeah, Reed Richards becomes a dumbass again later. I'll talk about that later. And now we cut into the most awkward of talks between two various people ever. Professor Xavier is speaking with tea or coffee and says, so, as you know, things have changed. Yes, you changed things, Charles. I just took the next logical step. After years of persecution, Reed, Krakoa is home to all mutants now. We're recognized by the United Nations, have diplomatic immunity in more than 100 countries. You're acting like you're above humanity, buying us off with gifts of medicine. Reed, you keep saying you can solve the world's problems, yet they instantly solved mental illness. Fuck you. I would gladly pay someone to give us the medicine needed to solve mental illness. For that alone. And from what it sounds like from the medicines, the pills, they so far don't seem to have any adverse effects. Oh, and we could live for 5 years, and a super drug, the super antibiotic. So, yeah, we essentially solved all the problems in the world by making only 3 pills. So, Rita, how many problems have you solved and did not create inadvertently with your own stupidity? Okay, let's see if I'm correct. We got World War Hulk, we got the Civil War, we had the Secret Event, Secret Wars, the Secret Crisis, you building devices of destruction that kills entire universes. Yeah, we can keep going on this, Reed. We can really keep going on with this. I could go on with this of how many times you fucked up. In fact, wait a second. During the Civil War, you thought it was the best idea to go ahead and implant nanotechnology into criminals to hunt down other heroes who just who didn't believe in the Registration Act because it was forcing people to reveal their identities to the government. So Magneto decides to escalate the situation by saying, we are above them and above you. Eric is being blunt, but we are the next step in evolution and finally embracing it. We can't control how others feel. We need to do what's right for us and the world which we still protect. But our main priority of protection is all mutant kind, including your gifted son. Nearly every mutant on the planet is in Krakoa now, as it should be. It's a paradise where we can be free. Franklin Richards is one of us and belongs there. We can help him with absolutely not. This family isn't about segregation. We want our children to live in a modern society where they can learn and grow with people who have different experiences. It's why we chose to live in Yancey Street, so we can be around people. Don't you mean so you can endanger people? How long until the C block is destroyed because enemies of the Fantastic Four attack, or enemies of mutants? Son, you've done well among the humans, but your people are waiting for you to truly discover home. Come with us. Claim that home. Yeah, here's the thing. They bring up the point where Franklin Richards, being the son of the Fantastic Four, Reed Richards and Susan Storm, Magneto has a point because the Fantastic Four pissed a lot of people off, and that's not even including heroes they pissed off over the years with Reed's incompetence. And then there's all the enemies they inadvertently created during their adventures. And now that Franklin Richards is a mutant, really the only safeguard he has is the Fantastic Four. But all it takes is one major catastrophe of a screw up, and the Fantastic Four protection goes down the drain. Because really, I believe that Franklin Richards is protected because of the reputation of the Fantastic Four. If he was just the son of any other hero, I'm pretty sure they wouldn't get the same. I'm pretty sure he wouldn't get the same treatment. But because it's the Fantastic Four, therefore he gets a more special protection because he's the son. He's the son of Reed Richards and Susan Storm. That's perfectly all right with us. Sure, he's a mutant, but he's born from human families, and they're a very popular family, so we can tolerate him, even if it's against everything of our bigotry and political beliefs. Wait. So, yeah, Magneto is saying that Krakoa is the best save option because he points out that this is eventually going to lead to hell, and Franklin actually contemplates it. He comes as Magneto closes near, and because Susan Storm wants to protect her family and deny the son the right to choose because he is tempted by this offer, or Susan rubbles up Magneto and yells out, "Stay away from my son." Reed just yells, "Sue, it's okay, you don't want to do this, Susan. Release Eric, or I will make you release him. Don't you dare, Charles. We'll handle this with discussion, not your mental violations." Yes, we will handle this with discussion and mental violation, and not with mental violations. It's definitely not like what me and the other members of the Illuminati when you were temporarily dead did to Captain America when he was a member. I'm the smartest man in the world. And Charles Xavier goes ahead and says this: "Your wife is the one committing violence. We're only responding to..." Excuse me? Oh man, this isn't good. Want to get out of here? Yeah. And then they start arguing again, saying, "You come in here and threaten to take my child," and then they leave. "So, Stormy, you think this is a good idea?" "I do. Mutants are hated and feared. Millions of us died at Genosha as a result of that hatred. The only way to properly protect Franklin is to be strong together." And Ben Grimm decides to try and see if he can one-up his best friend by saying this stupid line. I don't know. Sounds to me like the least safe place for my mutant godson is a new Genosha. Ah, yes, Bren, because saying that line to someone who is still pissed about what happened in Genosha all that long ago would clearly be alright with you saying that this is gonna repeat itself. Oh god. The Fantastic Four are saying so many stupid things that they're losing track on it. The only one saying right now is Johnny Storm, and that's gonna fall apart in minutes. So Kate Price says, I'm sorry this is happening. I know it's a lot to take in. And Franklin points out like the obvious situation in this. I just hate that nobody even cares what I think. Like, this is my life. So in that case, what do you want to do? I don't know. I think I want to go. Maybe you could help me with my powers, but I know my parents will lose their minds. Yes. Yes, especially Reed. He won't be able to experiment on you anymore for the foreseeable future if that happened. Yeah, at first, but they'll get it eventually. Lee, I just want you to know, no matter what you decide, I'll back you. I won't let Charles push you to do anything you don't want to do, or your parents. Thanks. I've missed you, Kitty. I've missed you too, pal. Is that? Yeah, the gateway to Krakoa. Only you can pass through. You'd be this close to your family at all times. It's not even Franklin! What the hell are you doing? Everyone's looking for you. Uncle Johnny, I wasn't sure you weren't. And you, kidnapping? Really? He left on his own? Oh, yeah, Johnny Storm now joins the completed set of I'm the Stupid Four because there's a reason for that. And then he's punched away by Storm and Iceman here. Stay away from the young man. He has diplomatic immunity. Yeah, bub. So get ready for some. And then he gets caught and Reed Richards is back. Funny how the only folks who need diplomatic immunity are the ones who doing things wrong. Reed Richards has a list of atrocities that would have gotten him the death penalty 20 times over. Oh, Bishop, this is gonna be fun. Remember, no human casualties, Pyro. Just, what? I'll only say this once. You're done here. This is over. You fools! Your child does not belong to you like some precious babble. He is a mutant. He is power. Eric, let's not escalate. No, let's. So you learn your lesson and stay away from my family. Or you could just halt the argument and just let him have a decision to make from this. Okay, you could have your debate about it, then give the offer of why he should go and why he should stay, and then give a couple of weeks for him to decide. It doesn't have to be like this. No, it doesn't. You're forcing the situation that will resolve in time. My son is almost a man. In a couple of years, he surely visit Krakoa on his own, maybe even for good. But you've got a timetable, and that's why I'm suspicious. Now, this is the part where things get suspiciously weird. Charles Xavier never explains why he wants Franklin Richards. Not because of the Krakoa policy, like they even established in Powers of X finale and the overall series of that, is that precogs are not allowed in Krakoa. So basically, their own version is, we do not negotiate with precogs. So does that mean they kill all the precogs? That questioned me, though. And Charles Xavier could have just easily said, look, we want to help Franklin. We know his powers are depleting. We noticed it during the little invasion you dealt with. Or some BS like that, but they never go with that. And then Franklin says, this is crazy. Agreed. Maybe you should just do what you want to do. Nice try, you bargaining snowman. You, Franklin, no! Franklin! And he rushes towards the Krakoa portal, rushing right through it. And everyone is completely shocked. What? Franklin, how? I'm sorry, son. Yes, Reed. Please explain to us what you did that is going to incredibly cause drama and increase your future role as world's greatest dumbass. I knew this might happen, so I created a device that masks your mutant gene, which prevents you from accessing the gate. You what? Yeah, this is the part where I'm going to wonder. Oh, God. Oh, God. Reed, are you trying your best to, like, how close were you to getting a divorce and breaking up the Fantastic Four with Susan and the others when the whole Civil War event happened and World War Hulk? Do you not want to risk that again, but now your son hating your guts? You were supposed to be fixing me. I'm just trying to protect you. You're too young to just go. I'm your father. Your place is... It would appear you're right, Reed. I suspect this will resolve itself in time. Well, everyone's pissed now. Especially Franklin. That's messed up. Go away, Val. Yeah, sure, of course. I just want you to know, solidarity on that front. Dad shouldn't have done that to you. Yeah, no kidding. He treats me like a child. First he put those tracking chips in us, and now this? Yeah, it turns out Reed just needs to prove why he's an idiot by not giving consent and saying, "Oh yeah, by the way, I want to put tracking chips in you to protect you." Yeah, well, tracking chips were made to be screwed with, and parents were made to be ignored. Ah, Ben, excellent. I was hoping to get a hand moving some. You know what, Stretch? It's hard enough convincing your kid that you're a good guy without you pulling garbage like this, Ben. And it looks like there's a lineup of people wanting to yell at you, pal. I'm just trying to protect our kids. I know, honey, believe me. I know. I would have killed them if they tried to take Franklin, and that terrifies me. Even still, what you did was wrong. We can't change who Franklin is. It's such a violation of his, as I know. It's just, I keep looking for scientific ways to solve this problem. Like, well, I do all problems, when really, I just need to be a better father. Ah, yes, we're back to this struggle of life. So, and, what looks like Cyclops, though I could be wrong because Cyclops' outfit's blue at the moment. Professor, I'm assuming... Oh, yeah, it's Scott Summers, so yeah, it's Cyclops. Professor, I'm assuming they didn't welcome you with open arms. No, Scott, they did not. But based on the way Reed Richards treated his son and, frankly, mutants in general, I suspect we no longer have to approach young Franklin. Rather, he will approach us. Yeah, since you basically gave this vibe Franklin basically got this vibe from his father, where it's not really intentional, but, Franklin is a young near teen kid, and therefore will do stupid things because he's a kid. Assume that his father is ashamed that he's a mutant. And we all know that leads to perfectly rational situations, right? Like, it's not like they go ahead and sneak on board a boat, and during a horrible storm they get found and then something stupid happens of mass insanity. Damn it, weather's getting a little rough. Pyro, go wake Storm so we can get her to clear things up a bit. Aye, aye, Captain. Yeah, we're back with the Marauders on their big boat. And don't be a creep about it or wake her with fire. Nay, Captain. I'm going to grab some flares in case we can't see the mutants. Hey, kitty. Been a while. Have you met my sister Valve? Hey, what on earth are you... Look, you said it yourself. You be back me on whatever I wanted to do. Well, I want to come back to Krakoa with you. And you? I want to go too, for a bit at least, but you're human. Barely. I just want to make sure my brother gets to where he wants to go so I can go, have his room. And I want to see Krakoa. But we're not going to Krakoa. What do you mean? We left New York for a mutant rescue mission. There's a boat stranded in the ocean of refugees, and then we get problematic number 2. I was the impossible boy who could dream the future. I was a god. What the hell was that? I was just about to ask the same thing. We could have hit a rock this far. We couldn't have hit a rock this far out. Then what? I'm Franklin Richards. And I was born a mutant, born to be with mutants. Oh, man. But I was born into the Fantastic Four. Ah, the children of Xavier. And where is your father? Which means I have twice as many enemies. Next. Doom will save you all! Yep, Dr. Doom's back, and apparently he's a villain again, so, yeah, that's something. So, yeah, now Dr. Doom's in this because he has to be in this, and is ready to start raising hell and cause more problems between the nation of Krakoa and the Fantastic Four, and by extension the United States of America by this disaster. And then there's also director's cut and the digital version of everything, so that's something to look forward to. But yeah, now we have this little bit of a crisis on their hands, and we don't know where this is going. Like, for now, Franklin looks like he wants to go back to Krakoa with them, but there's still 3 more issues after this, so we'll see how it goes. But ultimately, regardless how I felt about the art work, this was a pretty good issue, and kind of shows that this is going to lead to heavy changes. Lead to heavy changes down the road, no doubt, between Krakoa, the X-Men, and the Fantastic Four. I wonder what the future storyline is going to be with the Fantastic Four issues, but that'll come at a later date, and I'm probably not going to talk about it because right now I'm just really trying to concentrate on the X-Men stuff, and yeah. So let's see. Franklin Richards, Ralph Richards, and the Marauders are royally screwed because now they fight Doom. Because Doctor Doom is freaking crazy. And also, we'll probably say, Doom goes to where he wants to go, and Doom will go to Krakoa. Even though that would probably be the most stupidest ideas, even with all my power, Doom cannot simply defeat the power of the mutant nation of Krakoa. So yeah, Reed Richards is being a dumbass and is trying his damnedest to still be the father he wants to be and not the scientist. And yeah, that's pretty bad. But so now we get this huge debate. Like, I even kept thinking of an idea. Like, what if they did a special with the rest of the series? They do when they release Fantastic Four. If fans do a vote, like the Jason Todd death, where they would vote who would get Franklin Richards, or they would choose a third option and write in a vote. But it would be interesting to see if they did that, but probably not, since Jonathan Hickman has a multi-year plan, and it would be interesting to see Franklin Richards join up with Krakoa, though I could get why they would probably keep him in the Fantastic Four. It's just a matter of where Marvel will go with this, allowing Jonathan Hickman to do what he wants, since, well, he's their best writer they got right now at the moment, and since this is all his control, and especially since, they brought him back because they didn't want him to go to DC Comics and write Justice League, because that would have been freaking awesome. But, yeah, it's going to be interesting where issue 2 comes. It's also going to come out pretty soon, in all honesty. I was surprised by that. I thought it was going to be like a whole month, but no, it's going to come in near the end of February. So, looking forward to that. This were my thoughts on, if I'm correct in getting the title pronounced, getting the title corrected in its correct order. X-Men Fantastic Four, issue number 1, The Impossible Boy. This was Neo Reality Entertainment. For a few like, comment, subscribe, and donate. Stay tuned for more.